So Arrow Video have released Roadhouse on 4K. But how does it compare and stack up against this 4K from Capelight? How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Flicks and Pixels, and thank you so much for checking out today's video. So last year on my channel I reviewed a 4K release of Roadhouse from a German company called Capelight, and here it is in media book form. Really nice edition, this. If you haven't seen that video, I will leave a link up there for you to check out later on if you wish to. But this was one of my favourite physical media purchases of last year, believe it or not. It's a very nice media book, and the 4K transfer is very good as well. Really good 4K transfer on this. And recently, Arrow announced that they were doing a 4K release of Roadhouse as well. And here it is. This is due for release on the 2nd of June, and it is $24.99 from either direct from Arrow's website or HMV or Zava, usual retailers. It's 25 quid. Now, anybody that knows me and knows my channel know how much I like Arrow and what they do with their packaging, and 9 times out of 10 their 4K transfers are fantastic as well. So I had to pre-order this, I had to get it, and with Roadhouse being one of my favourite films of the 80s, I didn't mind double dipping, to be honest. It's a great film, and they're two very different editions as well. So I really didn't mind it. But I was intrigued more than anything else just to see how the 4K on this Arrow version would stack up against that Capelight version. Now, there was another 4K release. It was from Vinegar Syndrome, and unfortunately I missed out on that edition. I loved that big box edition of Roadhouse that they did. But from what I could gather, the transfer of the Capelight 4K disc was the same as Vinegar Syndrome. The only difference between the two was that Capelight had Dolby Vision and HDR10, whereas the Vinegar Syndrome only had HDR10. This Arrow one has HDR10 and also has Dolby Vision. So, as you can imagine, I was really intrigued to see how this 4K transfer kind of stacked up against that very impressive Capelight transfer. And it's an interesting one. That's all I'm going to say for now. But what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to take you down for an unboxing of this Arrow edition of Roadhouse on 4K. And then we're going to bring it back up top. And I'm going to talk about that 4K transfer and how it compares and stacks up against the Capelight version. So, are you ready? Come on, let's go and have a look. Okay, then, so here we go with Roadhouse on 4K. And first impressions of that slip, really like that. Shows the double douche in its original form before Dalton eventually sorts it out. You've got Patrick Swayze written just at the top, and you've got Roadhouse just there as well. That famous logo. Bring it round to the spine. You've got Roadhouse on there as well. Bring it round to the back, and you have a description of the film, and then you have a breakdown of what is on each disc, along with your tech specs at the bottom as well. And as you can see, the design of the slip carries on all the way around. Very nice. Pop that out of its slip then, and then pop that to one side, and then as you will see, on the front of here it is slightly different on the artwork. So you've got the double deuce before Dalton sorts it out, and then that's what it is afterwards. Yeah, I like that concept, really good. I like that. So again, bring it round to the spine, and then on the back, much the same as the slipcover, you got a breakdown of what is on each disc and your tech specs at the bottom. So if we open this up then, oh, we have the obligatory Arrow leaflet that nobody ever keeps or needs or wants. And then you do have some contents in here, so we'll just take those out for now. But then you are presented with your 4K disc, which has got the feature and extras on there. And then flip it over, and then you have got your disc 2 with extras on, which is a Blu-ray. What's really nice is they've carried on the concept of the slip and the case cover art. So on your 4K disc, it's a double deuce before it's sorted out, and then on your Blu-ray, there's a picture of it afterwards. Nice little touch there. And then it is a reversible sleeve, and you do get that original artwork on there. So we'll just pop that out for you to have a look at. So that is the original cover art for Roadhouse. However, I quite like the newly commissioned artwork, so I'm going to leave that in there. So if we pop this back in, like so. There we go. So yeah, really nice, I like that. So we'll bring in the contents, and the first thing you get in there is a beer mat from the Double Deuce. It's the same on both sides. You also get a little booklet. So a bit about the cast and crew, some production notes, and about the film itself. You also have some images from the film as well. And that is the picture that the artwork is inspired by. Yep, nice little booklet as always from Arrow. Decent quality as well, which is good. And then on the back you've got a picture of Patrick Swayze. Pop that to one side, and then also you get a poster. And it is double-sided. So that is the one side, which is that newly commissioned artwork. And then if you flip it over, you do have the original poster art as well. Decent quality poster, very much the same as the Jason films though, a little bit thinner than usual. But still decent quality all the same. So let's do a recap then, guys. So you get your poster, you get your little booklet, you get your beer mat, you get the film on 4K, all enclosed in a very nice slipcover. So there we go. That is Roadhouse on 4K from Arrow Video. Let's bring it back up top and let's talk about it. Okay, so we are back up top with Roadhouse on 4K from Arrow Video. And as I'm sure you would agree, it is a very nice edition. I'm a little bit gutted that Arrow didn't do this as one of their big box versions, to be honest. As I said earlier on in the video, Vinegar Syndrome released a big box edition of this, and it's beautiful. I've always wanted it. However, it's going for stupid money on eBay and other reselling sites, and I can't bring myself to spend that amount of money on it. As nice as it is, I'm not going to do it. So I was kind of hoping to soften the blow. Arrow would release it in a big box edition using their kind of style. But they haven't. They've gone with the slip edition, but it's still nice, and I'm really pleased I've got it nonetheless. In terms of the 4K picture then, as I said earlier, I was very impressed with that capelight transfer that I reviewed last year, and I was intrigued and curious to see whether the Arrow one would be any different. They are essentially the same transfer. They're essentially the same. However, there is a slight difference, and it's the colour grading. The colour grading on the Arrow version seems to be a little bit more natural looking than it does on the capelight version. Now, if I hadn't have stuck these two on to kind of compare, I probably wouldn't have noticed about the capelight one how like overbloomed the colours are on it until I put the Arrow one in. Now, I've said previously on my channel, on other videos, I use a 65-inch LG G4 OLED TV, and the 4K player I use is a Panasonic UB820. I put the capelight one in, had a look at that, and then I put the Arrow one in and had a look at that one, and there is a real difference with the colour grading. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick up an image of both stills from each disc. Please excuse the photos. I've literally taken a photograph of my TV. So the quality isn't properly represented in those pictures. However, you will be able to notice the difference in those colour gradings. So I'm going to bring that picture up right now for you to have a look at. Now, obviously, I put these in one after the other on the same player with exactly the same settings. Nothing was adjusted for either one of these. They both used the same settings because I put them in one after the other into the same player. And as you'll be able to see from the picture, you can tell there is a difference with the colour grading. It's almost as if the Arrow one has kind of dialed it down, toned it down a little bit, made it look a little bit more natural. That's not to say that the capelight one doesn't look good. It does still look good, but you can see where the colours and everything are kind of, they're almost overbloomed. They're almost dialed up a little bit too much. But I think if I hadn't have put them on together, I maybe wouldn't have noticed. I don't know. But I think I did notice that. I think that's why I wanted to compare them the way I did. But yeah, I'm just really surprised at how different the colour grading is on each of these. They're both fantastic transfers. They are. They absolutely are. They've both got HDR10 and Dolby Vision, as I say. The difference between the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 on this Arrow one, it's negligible, really. There are slight differences. I think, if anything, I just prefer the HDR version. But there's very little between the two. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, really surprising how different the colour gradings are on these. I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. I think I just prefer the Arrow colour grading, to be honest. Only just. I just think it looks more natural, to be honest. But as I said about the capelight one last year, the transfer's really good. Black levels are good. Shadow detail is good. Close-up shots look excellent. And the overall clarity and definition of the 4K transfer just looks fantastic. It's the best Roadhouse has ever looked. It really is, without a shadow of a doubt. In terms of the sound is exactly the same as it is on the capelight one and as the Vinegar Syndrome one. It is a 5.1 DTS, or you have a 2-channel stereo mix on there as well. So overall, it is pretty much the same package. You've just got that different colour grading on the Arrow version. So if you've already got the capelight one or the Vinegar Syndrome one, you kind of got to weigh up whether you prefer a more natural looking colour grading, I guess. But I think if you wasn't to pick up the Arrow one and you was to keep the capelight one or Vinegar Syndrome, whichever, you're still getting a really, really good 4K transfer. And apart from that slight difference in the colour grading, they are identical. They are identical. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. To be honest, let me know what you think. Comment down below. Can you see a difference in the images that I've put up? One from the capelight version and one from the Arrow video version. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Are you going to be picking up Roadhouse on 4K from Arrow Video? Have you already got a 4K version, whether it be from capelight or Vinegar Syndrome? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you ever so much for watching today, guys. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would consider subscribing to the channel, I would really, really appreciate it. And hopefully, I will see you again on my next video. Until then, take care.